What's going on, everybody? We're back again with another NFL game preview. Today we're going to be previewing the Redskins and the Saints. This is a key NFC game for the Redskins in terms of keeping pace with a lot of other good NFC teams. If you look at the wild card right now, I believe 11 games is what's going to take to be a wild card team, 10 to 11. Even then, you have to have a lot of tiebreaker head-to-head matchup wins here. For the Saints, you can make the case that they're one of the top 3 NFC teams, even the top 2. In my eyes, they're number 3 behind the Rams. I think it's Eagles, Rams, Saints, Vikings. No offense to Viking fans. I just like the offensive firepower that the Saints can bring. And they have an elite quarterback. So looking at this game right here, we're going to jump into our 3 important matchups. And our 3 important matchups are going to revolve around a lot of stuff here. A lot of stuff meaning that it ties into later parts or subplots of this game. Number 1 is going to be the Saints running game versus the Redskins run defense. Look at what the Saints have done the last couple weeks. They really, actually all season, they really run the ball down your throat. Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara have been terrific on the ground, making it very, very hard to get off the field if you can run the ball effectively. If you're picking up 4 or 5 yards a carry, it makes it very, very hard to get off the field and keep teams in 3rd and long. I think I was reading something on Twitter by a blogger who broke down who did a game thread of the Saints and the Bills. They ran the ball. I think the Saints ran the ball about 24. I think it was 24 straight times, or 8. They ran 24 plays, and 18 of them were straight runs. They had a drive on Sunday where they ran 10. It was a 10-play, 94-yard drive that took up about 7 minutes, and all 10 of those plays were all running plays. So think about that: 10 plays, all of them runs, 94 yards. That's a ridiculous 9.4 yards per play on that drive. For the Redskins, that's going to be very tough. Kamara is being used as that Darren Sproles, Reggie Bush style back, except he brings more in the ground game than those two have ever brought. And Mark Ingram is finally being used as a lead dog, I guess you can say. I mean, he's been a lead dog the last couple of years. He was a lead dog coming into training camp, coming into the season. And it's just really making it, they're really featuring him in the offense and taking the load off of Drew Brees' shoulders and, sharing the load. I'm sure Drew Brees is totally okay with that, considering in the past that he has shoulder surgery. So that's, for the Redskins, getting off the field and forcing these guys into 3rd and long is going to be very, very tough in this game, but they have to do it if they want to win. Our second key matchup here is going to be Kirk Cousins versus that Saints defense. The Saints defense has honestly been very underrated this year. I don't know if they're talked about enough. I haven't seen it on NFL Network, ESPN, Fox Sports 1, all those places. Very underrated on the season. Marshawn Lattimore is a lockdown corner. The Saints really got a steal. I think the last couple of years, the Saints have really drafted very, very well. I think last year it was Michael Thomas. This year, Marshawn Lattimore. Michael Thomas was a 2nd rounder, so Kamara this year, that Saints defense, and they're just getting younger, they're bringing in different pieces. They're having leaders. I think that's the one difference between that Saints defense that won the Super Bowl and this Saints defense now is the veteran presence. There are a couple of veterans, but the veteran presence on that team was throughout the whole defense. Where on this team, they're still a little young, but they're playing together as a great cohesive unit, and that's fun to watch when a defense is flying to the ball, getting stops, getting off the field, and they're young and feisty. You gotta love that if you're a fan of the Saints. For Kirk Cousins, though, he has to beat these guys. He has to take advantage of matchups. Chris Thompson has to be used exclusively in this passing game, and they have to find a way to run the ball effectively, picking up 4 yards a carry, so Kirk Cousins can be used in play action. I just feel like wherever Chris Thompson lines up, you're going to have to pay a lot of attention to that because Kirk Cousins is going to try to find a way to fit him the ball. Josh Doctson has to come through. Terrell Pryor has to come through. Vernon Davis. If Jordan Reed plays, Jordan Reed. And Jamison Crowder. I mean, a lot of these receivers are good on paper, but they just haven't really put it together on the season in terms of statistical output. Chris Thompson is their leading rusher and receiver, I believe. You can fact check me on that. Kirk Cousins almost has to play perfect in this game for the Saints. Not the Saints, the Redskins to win this game. And our third and final key matchup is going to be Drew Brees versus the Redskins defense. I know what you're thinking. Oh, you highlighted the running game. Well, Drew Brees is still a very integral part of this offense. As long as he plays turnover free, and you see what he's doing, he's very accurate. So he can go 22 of 25 for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, no picks. That's fucking fantastic. honestly perfect football, I guess you can say. So if, you know, Drew Brees is efficient and effective, they use him on that play action. Sean Payton is a great offensive mind. He sets up plays later in the game with formations. And that's something that you have to look at every single. You see a formation early in the game and you think it's coming, but nope, it's play action. Nope, it's a different route combination. It's just the little things like that is what takes Sean Payton to the next level compared to a lot of other coaches. I would say he's a top 8 coach in the NFL right now. So jumping to our 3 reasons why each team won this game. For the Redskins, we're going to start with the Redskins. It's going to have to rely all on Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has to play perfect football in this game, you know, for them to have a chance to win the game. He can't turn the ball over, and he has to be efficient, completing 65 to 68% of his passes, throwing for close to 300 yards. The Redskins have to chew clock in this game, I think, to keep the Saints' offense off the field. And to do that, the running game has to come through, which leads to point number 2, the Redskins' running game. The Redskins haven't had a running game on the year. They need to find one in this game. If they can rush for close to 100 yards as a team, I think they have a good chance to win this game. It's going to be very hard, you know, because the Saints defense, like I said, has been very underappreciated and very great this year. But, you know, especially when you got edge players like Cam Jordan, just a bunch of young players, you know, that fly to the ball. It makes it hard. And the Redskins have lost a lot of players on the offensive line. I don't know if these guys are back yet this week, but they have lost some key players on the offensive line. So, and our third reason why is that they can stop the Saints' running game. Easier said than done, right? Well, they have to find a way to stop them. They have to limit them to close to 3.5 yards per carry. They have to keep them below 100 total rushing yards. It's a tough task, but they need to find a way to do it if they want to win this game, because Drew Brees, they're not game planning for Drew Brees to beat you. They're game planning to shove it down your throat, and then Drew Brees makes clutch throws late in the game, play action throws. Now for the Saints, very cut and dry ground game. Their ground game is amazing. Kamara, Ingram, as I said earlier, probably the best 1-2 tandem in the NFL in the running game. So for these guys, it's very simple. Get 5 yards per carry, continue to eat clock, chew up massive yards on the ground, find pay dirt. And I think it's going to be pretty simple for them in this game because they have a talented offensive line that is opening up holes, even though they have had some injuries. But I'll take this Saints offensive line over that Redskins defensive front right now in this game. Number 2, forcing turnovers on Kirk Cousins. For Kirk Cousins, you know, he's a little turnover prone in his career. He has been. Plain and simple, he has to play perfect. Otherwise, they're not going to win this game. And the Saints defense will get stops. They will get off the field. They held the Bills to 3 points last week. I think it was 3 or 10. Plain and simple, this could be a long game for Kirk Cousins if he's running for his life, throwing interceptions, fumbling the ball on a strip sack fumble. I just feel like the Saints defense is just going to come through and get 3 turnovers on Kirk Cousins in this game. I for some reason, I just think it's going to be 3. Could be more, could be less. If they get any type of turnovers on Kirk Cousins, they should be able to win this game. And number 3 for the Saints is the play of Drew Brees. Like I said, Drew Brees is one of the most accurate quarterbacks in NFL history. So, you know, for him to go 22 or 25, I expect him to throw the ball about 25 times in this game. That's it. They're going to rely on their ground game like they have almost all season. They're going to rely on those 2 guys. He's going to find great passes, you know, to Mike Thomas, Kamara, Ingram, all types of guys that they can throw the ball to. Drew Brees in his career has thrown the ball to like 10 different guys a game. It's amazing. Kind of sucks if you're a fantasy owner guy, but it is what it is. Nobody cares about that. But yeah, Drew Brees I think he's going to be efficient and effective like he always is. Throw 2 touchdowns, close to 220 yards. It should be a fun day for the Saints team, in my opinion. So jumping to my prediction here is I think the Saints are going to win, and I think it's not going to be as close as people think it might be. I think it's going to be like 31-17. Like I said, I think Saints defense forces 3 turnovers in this game on Kirk Cousins, and they're able to run the ball really effectively, chewing up mad amounts of clock, and they just completely, you know, bend the Redskins over and take their manhood type of thing. So that's what I think. I think it's going to be 31-17 Saints. I expect Ingram and Kamara to come close to 150 total rushing yards, and Drew Brees to throw for close to 220, 230 passing yards. That's my prediction for this game. Another game preview is coming right after this. Thank you for watching, and I'm out. Peace.